Uh, my name is Briggs, and this is Saving the Niger Delta with Briggs. Today is the 26th of August, 2020. Everything in life is about change, and the one thing that we we are sure of that is constant in life is change. So right now, if you are used to watching Saving the Niger Delta with Ann Kubrick's through 89.9 FM Radio Garden City, if you're used to watching me through there, you can see right now that that is very likely not what you are seeing. So, but that is change. That is what change is all about. If there comes a time that we need to or um, have to go back to the radio station, we will definitely do that. But for now, this is the new system that we're going to use. Today is Wednesday, as I said. Today is the 26th of August. I hope your week has been have been good. Definitely a lot have happened. And most of these things that have happened, as usual, are very political issues across Nigeria, from north to south, east to west. A lot of things have gone on. The first thing I would want us to look at and to encourage me and to hopefully encourage you is what came to my mind this morning is a Bible verse. Is a Bible verse, Isaiah 43:19. It says, "Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." This verse have encouraged me. It encouraged me because of what happened yesterday, and I made a post about it on my Facebook. And what was that thing that happened yesterday? If you are not aware of it by now, um, it means that you are getting information that concerns our very existence as a people of River State, as a people of the Niger Delta region. You are getting information slow, and therefore you are not able to then know or have a mindset or take a position on what is happening. The very critical thing I want us to look at today, and I don't know if my team is going to be able to, if we're going to be able to bring it up, is the fact that the governor of um, a gold producing of a gold producing state went to see the president of Nigeria. And he went to see the president of Nigeria, and he took with him bars of gold, bars of gold, um, as resource that is coming from his state. Now, this resource is a natural resource, just like oil and gas are natural resources that are coming from the Niger Delta region. But he, as the governor of that state, took the gold bars to show to the president of Nigeria as what is coming out of his state. Um, and the idea behind it is that these gold bars are the resources that are coming from his state, and the license to mine this gold have been given to ordinary people, have been given to the people of Zamfara State. The governor of Zamfara State now is presenting these gold bars to the president of Nigeria as belonging to the state of Zamfara. So far, it is not coming, he's not showing it to him as, as a natural resource that the federal government will take 87% off and give the people of Zamfara State 13%, and thereby share by local government to the people of Rivers State 23 shares by local government, to Bayelsa 8, and so on and so forth. You get the drift, because Kano is getting 44% of whatever revenue comes out of the oil and gas. So when I saw this, I made a post, and the post I made is directed at the governors, at the senators, as the House of Representative members that come from the Niger Delta region and come from the other 3 states that produces oil and or gas. So the Briggs State, Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Edo State, and Delta State are the Briggs states. They are the 6 oil-producing states in the Niger Delta region, or as politically accepted, South-South. Ondo State is one. Imo State and Abia States are another, and they come from and they are in the southeast geopolitical zone. Well, it is not where is Niger Delta. It is not where is Ondo State or Abia State or Imo State. Doesn't matter what it is called. The reality, as I speak to you today, everything is confirmed by this action. Zamfara State, and please, my people, let us not even begin to consider that these gold bars that were presented to President Buhari by the governor of Zamfara State, that is a new phenomenon, and that it only just started this year or last year. No. They've been mining, and they've been keeping the resources, the money from the gold they have been mining to themselves. What they have done now is they have come out boldly to admit to you and I whose oil they have been sucking for as long as there has been a sharing formula for the oil and gas. They are telling us that as long as the oil and gas continues to come from the Niger Delta, and as long as we have the 1999 Constitution that allows the federal government to come in and take 100% of our natural resources, give some of it to their personal friends as allocation, then they can take the rest of it to Abuja and share it, send back 13% to us, and take it back in any way, shape, or form that they want, by stealing it or by looting it or whatever the case may be, with the connivance of our people from the Niger Delta. Some, please, my people, some, because you and I are not involved. With the connivance of some Niger Delta people, either that are politicians or think they are politicians, or people who are think that they are electorates and they are voting for people, or supporting people that are in politics. And it doesn't matter to these people from the Niger Delta that they themselves are part of their own problem. It doesn't matter how much money you are able to deceive your people and take for your own as a person, and you're from the Niger Delta. If you are part of this process, and in being part of this process, it doesn't get down to everybody else, then you are the problem. I say you're the problem because you are the proverbial rat that the one outside cannot get into the Niger Delta without you. So I want Niger Delta people, communities that produce oil and gas, communities that gas pipeline passes through their communities, where there is pollution, where there is gas flares, everybody that comes from a community that produces gas or is suffering from the effect of gas, or produces oil and suffers from the effect of this oil. What happened between the governor of Zamfara and the president of Nigeria? As of that particular moment till now, and until we are able to change anything, they have hammered in the nail on the process of impoverishment of our people, of our region. That the federal government is claiming that it is coming to build a refinery in Rivers State. If there is anybody who is happy or rejoicing, even if it is the highest political office holder to the councillor in the local government, if you feel that this is something to be happy about, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. Because what is the meaning of federal government is coming to build a refinery in Rivers State? What's the meaning of that? When this same federal government, by all indication, and until it is corrected, this is my assumption, and I have a right to assume it based on what I saw. The assumption is that the gold belongs to Zamfara State, and Zamfara State is going to keep it. So it means the federal government is not getting 87% of the gold. He just came to show it to the president. And the governors of the oil producing states are happy to go to Abuja and collect whatever it pleases the federal government to give to it at the end of every month. Why? Because according to the Constitution, the resources that is coming from the Niger Delta region belongs to the federal government, and that we should be grateful. Well, I remove myself from it. Niger Delta people should be grateful. I will never be grateful to them. They can do what they like, but I will not be grateful to them. And expect the Niger Delta people to be grateful to them for 13%. And that 13% is set up in a way that we end up fighting ourselves over the so-called 13% on paper. But the governors themselves must stand up and tell their people the truth. Are they receiving 13%? How will they know that they're receiving 13%? Do the governors know the equivalent in dollars of how much oil is taken from their state? They don't. So they are getting they are getting 13% of what they don't know. They're getting 13% of what they don't know. Because whatever the government gives them is 13% as far as they are concerned, and as far as the government is concerned. And they take it. And yet, there is a video of how many years ago where someone, don't know whether it's from Zamfara State, was claiming that all the oil, and he specifically mentioned some states, maybe just because he couldn't mention all of them for time's sake, so he mentioned only Bayelsa and Delta State and all of that, and said that all the oil down there belongs to Zamfara. He specifically mentioned Zamfara, that all of it belongs to Zamfara State. It is really time that we, the electorate of the Niger Delta, irrespective of party, I can't express to you how I feel when I hear that word party, political party. Irrespective of the political party you belong to, if you are not offended as a senator, as a governor, House of Rep member, State Assembly member, party chairman, party this, party that, all of those things, if you are not offended by those gold bars, you are part of the problem. As a matter of fact, you're most likely the major problem. You're most likely the major problem. Because politically, you're not in control. You are not in control politically. You're not in control. Don't deceive yourself. You're not in control politically. You're not in control in any way, shape, or form. Early this year, when Governor Okowa, and after, just after the Yorubas announced Amatekun, the Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement, we wrote a 2-page letter to all the governors of the Niger Delta, of the braced states, all of them. And they received all those letters. Whether they saw it or they didn't see it, I don't know. But all those letters were delivered to the respective government houses. And there were phone numbers attached to those letters and emails attached to those letters. These are our governors. We have a right to write letters to them. And they owe us an obligation to reply to those letters. It's just that they think that they are bigger than us. They are better than us because they are exercising the powers that we have given to them. None of them responded to those letters till today. In 2017, on the 14th of February, myself, as an Ijaw daughter, with other Ijaw youths and daughters coming from all over under one auspice, wrote a letter that we wanted to deliver to the governor of Bayelsa State at that time. And that letter, the content of that letter was not aggressive, it was not disrespectful, but he wouldn't know. He didn't know because he never gave us opportunity to deliver that letter to him as the Ijaw governor that he was at that time. You see, nothing lasts forever. Absolutely nothing lasts forever. We went to Tombia roundabout to get ready to walk a distance from Tombia roundabout in Nyanagoa to Government House so that we can deliver the letter. I'm not a stranger to Saraki Dixon. I'm not a stranger to him. And he knew that I was leading that protest or that march or that walk to come to Government House. He was aware. He knew it. It was publicized. It was not a secret. It was publicized. By the time we got to Tombia roundabout, before 9, I drove in from Port Harcourt. By the time I got to Tombia roundabout, some other people, Rosemary, Allen, so many other young Ijaw people, some lawyers and people who flew in from Abuja, from Lagos, and all of that. We were there. We were not more than 50 people. Why did we want to deliver a letter? We wanted to deliver a letter because at that time, the governor of Bayelsa State had given 1,200 hectares of land to Fulani herdsmen to graze. And the place he gave to them, Rivers State has an equivalent of it. The Bayelsa palms. Rivers State have Rivers State palms. They had it together before they were split up when Rivers State and Bayelsa State were one. So it is called Bayelsa palms. It's very green, it's very moist because it is agrarian area to grow palm kernel fruit, palm trees. And he had given it to them. Whether I gave it to them, whether I sold it to them, whether I loaned it to them, it doesn't matter. It is Bayelsa land. It is Ijaw land. And all we were saying in that letter was that he should take back the land. He had no right to give the land to them because that land belonged to people before it was taken for palm tree growing, palm produce growing. And if government takes a piece of land from a community for a purpose and they don't want to use it for that purpose anymore, they should give the land back to the original owners. And before we knew it, there were JTF, a full force of army, navy, everything descended on us. And a few even, Bayelsa youths, Ijaw youths that were working with the governor of Bayelsa State. We saw them. They saw us. They attacked us. We didn't even leave the roundabout. Why am I saying this story? It's historical. It's documented. It's evidential. It will remain in the history of Ijaw people. It will remain in the history of Niger Delta. It will remain in the history of what is coming in the future. Because all what we were saying was that do not give our land. That time, people were not even talking about Ruga. So, in one way, the governor of Bayelsa State at that time was the first governor officially to give land for Ruga. He may not have known it, but that is what it means. So I'm just highlighting that. because it happened to me, it happened on my ethnic group, and we all have to take responsibility. I want every ethnic nationality in Niger Delta to apply this thinking to them, this thinking to their survivor, whether you're Urobo, whether you're Shekiri, whether you're Efik, whether you're Ibibio, whatever you are, your survival, your development, your economy is your responsibility. So today, I ask you to ask yourself, because I've asked myself that question. If you have a representative in the National Assembly or in the House of Representatives or in the State Assembly, and you produce any natural resource, even if it is fish, ask yourself, if the gold of Zamfara belongs to Zamfara people, why should the oil in the land of the people that produce oil in Ondo State, why will it not belong to them? The people in Abia, the people in Imo, why will the oil or gas, whatever you produce, why should it not belong to you? If the gold, if the governor of Zamfara can proudly carry gold bars to go and show to the president. The message I'm receiving by this is that this is their next oil, if you like, and they're keeping it to themselves, and that there is nothing anybody can do about it. Now, if in the future it comes in to the to become national cake, like oil and gas is national cake, if from here on the gold, from this month on, the gold is national cake, and it is being shared 13% to them, and then we get our own by allocation of local government, then the analysis I'm making today will be wrong. But we will see when we get there. We will wait to hear what the president will say about the gold bars that were presented to him. And we will wait to see what our representatives are going to say about the gold bars. Since we have refused, our governors, our electorates, the people who believe that they are boys and girls of politicians, men and women of politicians, if they believe that the oil and gas in their land, in their state, in their community belongs to them, they should claim it the same way that Zamfara state governor have claimed it. Now people will say, oh, the constitution. Yes, we know about the constitution. What are our representatives who are working with the constitution at the National Assembly? What are the governors who are sworn to serve us with that constitution? What are they doing? If you swear on a constitution and that constitution does not allow you to serve your people, the oath you have taken is nonsense. Yes, the oath you have taken is nonsense. Because you are swearing to uphold your constitution in one hand, Bible, this is my Bible, in another hand, so help you God. And yet, You're not doing anything for us. What are you doing for us? Nothing. You're not speaking up for us. You're not passing bills. You're not resisting bills. We're Christians. We're Christians. Yesterday, I was watching television and there was some discussion going on about the NBA, what transpired, and how the invitation of El-Rufai was recalled. And somebody who was arguing against the recalling of the invitation and arguing against why they should raise signatures for the protest to recall the governor of Kaduna invitation. The guy in the studio said, you can imagine that the governor of Rivers State signed the recall. And I quickly made a post on the comment section and said, the governor of Rivers State signed the protest as a lawyer that he is, because the NBA, whatever they're doing there is a professional thing. I cannot go there unless they invite me to come. So it's a professional thing for professional people, lawyers. So if the governor of Rivers State signed and agreed with the people that El-Rufai should not speak there, don't bring Rivers State into it. He did not sign it on behalf of Rivers people. He signed it as a lawyer. He is right to sign it as a lawyer. If he was a retired general in the army, will he sign it if he's not a lawyer? No. If I could sign it, I would have signed it. But they didn't ask ordinary people to sign it, I don't think. So, you see, we have people who come out and make unnecessary arguments defending wrong political decisions. They are selfish decisions that people are defending because of politics. So we, the people, the electorate, if the electorate continue to walk in fear, there is reason to be afraid. That is why God said in the Bible over and over again, do not be afraid, do not be afraid, do not. He knows that people will be afraid. He knows that there is reason to be afraid. There is reason to be afraid. Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to be locked up in jail. There is reason to be afraid. But God says, don't be afraid. You have to tell yourself that you shouldn't be afraid. The responsibility to change our situation and circumstances in any situation we find ourselves is primarily our own. As individuals, it's our own. It's our responsibility. And we must stand up to that responsibility. If we don't stand up for it, nobody's going to stand up for that responsibility. We have seen the jumping up and down, the shouting as if the corruption of NDDC, as if it was a new thing. It's a new thing. It's not a new thing. There has been corruption in Nigeria for as long as Nigeria has existed. As a matter of fact, Nigeria was brought together on the basis of corruption, for corruption, because of corruption. And corruption will always be there. What are we going to do about it? When NDDC was set up, it was set up to fail. It was set up with a pattern and a system so that it will be run corruptly. That's why it was set up. That's why we have never benefited from it. So we're not surprised that 22 years or whatever years on, 20 years on, we're now boldly talking about corruption in the NDDC. Corruption must go all the, I mean, the investigation, the auditing into NDDC must go on, must go all the way back. The one of 2019 to date is a different one. It's a different one. That one too must go up. And the one from 2018 to 2000 must also be done. If you don't do it, if you don't do it like that, then you're deceiving yourself. You're not doing any audit. The Senate, the House Committee, they have no authority, as far as I'm concerned, to do this auditing. The auditing must be done by professionals. They've been pointing fingers at themselves. The whole thing now is quietly dying down, like I knew it would, because we're not serious. Because if we're serious, it is not, I mean, the governors of the Niger Delta state are not the first people to get up and say NDDC should be investigated. No. We've been saying it before this, even from Odili's time, we've been saying it, that NDDC is corrupt. So it's not a new thing that we're talking about. Now, the issue of Christianity, we cannot run away from the fact that Rivers State is a Christian state. And that was why the guy who was arguing yesterday, that was the point he raised, that you can imagine that it was wrong for Governor Wike to say that Rivers State is a Christian state. No. Rivers State is a Christian state. Niger Delta region is a Christian region. Because we are 99% Christians in our region and in our state. Just the same way as it applies to them in the north. Their percentage is also what they will argue for themselves. The Christians, there are Christians there too. Now, when I am laying the problems that is confronting us as a people of the Niger Delta region, as a people of what is southern Nigeria, if we do not get up and fight this battle for ourselves, who do you think is going to fight it for you? You're from River State, or you're from Delta State. The party you belong to is controlled from Abuja. The party you belong to is will decide who will get the ticket for Senate, will decide who will get the ticket for governorship. And you think you're in control? You're not in control. You are not in control. Somebody else is in control. And that is why we're in the mess that we are in. Because every politician is looking for himself. It is only when they come down to state level that they exercise those powers that they are afraid to exercise at Abuja level. You are not allowed to choose who will be your flag bearer. The blessing has to come, or the curse rather, has to come from Abuja. And then when you finish there, you now come and impose the same curse and blessing upon the people at state level. Yes. That is why we are not able to see anything resembling development. Anything resembling development. There is no plan. There is no desire to allow. I use the word allow. I always don't want to use that word in certain circumstances when people say, oh, they will not allow us. But right now, I am saying that the fact that the decision is made outside of the Niger Delta, outside of Rivers State, to develop or not develop this region is coming from outside. The decision is not made by our politicians. That is why the development can never come. It can never come. And anybody who keeps believing that outside of development that come by the fact that today it is one person from one ethnic nationality in a state, and then the development will lean towards that, and hopefully when it goes to another nationality, the development will lean towards that nationality. And so if somebody is developing his area, you should also plan that when you get there, you will also develop your area, because that is the type of politics that is going on in Nigeria. To say that it is not is nonsense, and you can say what you like of me, but that is my position. That's how I see that's how I see it, and it is based on that I'm talking. And that's the position I've taken. You may decide you won't do anything for me, that because I'm talking like this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make it untrue. It doesn't make it untrue. Soldier come, soldier go. Except the time that soldier will refuse to go. So nothing is permanent. But right now, what is coming? Anybody who thinks that there is going to be election in 2023, anybody who thinks that they are going to be vice presidents, or that they are even going to be governors in any state, without first of all accepting that there is a need to unite and be collective in our thinking, and accept that the issue of ethnic nationality is in existence, and the issue of religion is in existence in Nigeria, and that there is apartheid going on in Nigeria. If we do not see that, accept it as a problem, and stand to say we will not accept this as a people, what goes up will come down. Today is your turn. Tomorrow it will be somebody else's turn. We've seen coups and counter coups in Nigeria. It is when I see that Nigeria is getting up to involve herself in the issue of Mali, I laugh. What are they involving themselves in the issue of Mali? Mali is a replica of what is happening in Nigeria. It's religion, it's resources, it's a people going to another people's place and imposing themselves on the owners of those, of that place, that region, that country, that land, whatever the case may be.